Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for the week of March 11th through the 17th, 2024. So I send you so much love and angel blessings, and I thank everyone who is returning to this weekly series and for continuing to support the channel um, by your um, weekly viewing of all of the information that is put out. So, and additionally, I'd like to also welcome anyone who's new to our Angelic Wisdom community and invite you to just, say hello, give us a shout out, and let us know who you are and maybe where you're from if you feel comfortable doing that. If you haven't done so, make sure that you are subscribed. Select the all notification bell, like, dislike, and also leave your comments. If during the course of watching this video you feel called to have an angel reading with me, you can go to my current website, theangelschool.com/services. If you'd also like to support my channel with a donation, you can go to my PayPal me link for Angelic Wisdom. All of the links that I just mentioned and I'm going to mention, you will be able to find in the description area beneath this video. The next link that I'm going to mention is for the general monthly angel reading for March. And as I've stated before, it's a very special reading. So I think if you haven't had a chance to see it yet, make sure that you do. That will be the very first link that you will see. And also, at this point, when you receive this video, it would have been 2 days past since I have published all of the monthly angel scopes for the various zodiac signs. So if you haven't checked them out, you can access them here on my YouTube page under videos. You can also access them through Twitter, my Twitter account. You can also access them through my Facebook account. My Facebook, I don't know what they call that thing, but they've changed the name so many times. I think it's sort of like the Angel School Facebook page is the best way to say it. So you can join that Facebook page as well as view all of the video content there as well. Now, as many of you already know by now, this is my birthday week, and so my birthday would be on the 17th. And I'm just really grateful to all of you for all of your prayers, your support, your well wishes in general, throughout everything that has happened in my life. You've been a very great supportive community to me during some very difficult times, and we've shared all of this wealth of information together. So I am grateful. This year I'm trying not to focus on the age climbing the ladder steadily, but hey, steadily, it's at least steady is something, and that's wonderful. So I'm going to begin now, and I'm going to invite all of you to take a deep breath with me. And just allow yourself to let go of everything that is on your mind or your hearts. And this is interesting. So I don't know if I mentioned this to many of you, but I did not realize, and that this angel is coming through now. So what they identified themselves as the municipal angel. Isn't that interesting? And the municipal angel is the guardian angel of your city or your state, your community base. Okay, and it could be the government. So there is sort of an angel watching over um, the regions where we live and the governing bodies as well. And so I'm not quite sure why it's coming through right now. I'm also seeing the word seraphim being written as well. So, um, and the seraphim always, they're the 12th dimensional angels who are um, surrounding the throne of God. And so the angel, the municipal angel that in your area, you can connect in with them. And this is what I was told, that number one, it's a gift where you've chosen to, where you are right now, whether you want to be there or not. Okay. You go where you go because you are invited there. Your soul and um, invites you there, number one. And then your soul connects in, is always in connection and communication with the municipal angel of that area. And what they had asked me to do, and they were describing to me a couple of days ago, that my sort of my energy, they were asking me to expand my energy, to open it up. And they said they gave me a particular number. Mine was 6 miles to open my energy up, and just with the intention this happens. And you do this through breathing and relaxing, but you might get a different number. But however, they were telling me that my energy was sort of tight-fisted, and when you are living in the community, you want to keep your energy open to your municipal angel and the opportunities that your soul and the municipal guardian angel is working out for you or orchestrating on your behalf. And so that if your energy is tight, as they put it for me, then you want to open it up so that you can start to really open up to all the benefits and all the possibilities. And that does not mean that you still, if your soul is calling you somewhere else, it's about just being open. Because if you need help transitioning, then this will open you up to that, right? To another location. If you're feeling as though you're not really getting everything out of where you're living, by opening this up, you will give yourself access to that. And we judge often, if we judge our success where we live or anything that we do by the good and the bad, right? And so it's just too many cons. It's like, I need to go. But remember this, and this, I don't know if you've been reading the Daily Heart Messages, but they talked about sometimes what seems like a setback is actually a setup by the universe to set you up for something greater. And also to sometimes set up those opportunities for those lessons that we are sort of being hard-headed in paying attention to and doing the work that our soul has called us to do there, or through that situation. So you might be in this location where you just don't want to be there, but there's a lesson, there's a purpose, and until you work through it, you really won't be able to be free. So you'll go somewhere else and you'll carry the resentments, right? Um, and so you want to always move with a clean slate. And so by opening up your heart in this way and your energy, you allow the divine orchestration to help you to heal, to find harmony and balance. Okay. So let's see. And also, I'm remembering now, the very first thing when I started the video, as I started introducing the video, I saw this window. And windows for me are my symbol for opportunities, windows of opportunities, right? But in the window was sort of like like a balloon that was heart shaped, and I could perceive the color very strongly as pink, like very transparent, luminous pink. And it was sort of like on a stick, so like a balloon on a stick in the window. So, and the stick is interesting. The balloon is also interesting, if I think about it, for me, because the way my visions are is that they really are inherently information, language. So that's why I'm paying attention to like the stick. I just heard a bird go by past my window, kind of made a very fussy sound. um, and as I said, the word stick, and it might be that because the stick just doesn't have the same flexibility and it doesn't seem as fun as the string in a balloon, right? And the balloon itself is sort of definitely an air element. So, because it's filled with air. And it's also just, it's inflated, so it's open. And it's open to movement as well. So I feel like that you're sort of being a stickler about something. The opportunities are there, but you're being picky or nitpicky, and it's sort of like you're doing this with something that you're passionate about or something that your heart is open to, like your heart is ready to receive, or your heart is ready to move with in some way. I never think of it, maybe you might think more about balloons in terms of symbolism and, holding a balloon on a string and what that kind of really means or to you. Maybe something else about this might come, but, my initial thing was the stick versus the string is just that the flexibility and fun, and the stick is not is not as free, right? Not in terms of just being able to be, in terms of reaching, soaring high, as one thought that comes to my mind. So this might be the reason why they're bringing this up about the municipal guardian angel and connecting in with this angel. And once you really start to open up your energy, and you do this every day, and another reminder that my municipal angel also had a name. So if you ask for your municipal angel's name, if it's the right time for them to share it with you, they will give that to you. The thing is that she was saying that it might contract a little bit, so that's okay. But if you do it every day, eventually your energy will learn to stay open to, and of course you can, with the intention, open to love. So when you spend your energy, when you set it to be open to all the opportunities of your heart, for example, then also be open to the windows of opportunity, be flexible. Okay, be ready to sort of soar with what comes in, and pay attention to the messages that you receive. All right, so let's take a look at the archangel that we're working with in this month. And it's Archangel Jophiel. And so he's in charge of your crown chakra. And the message on the card says, act with wisdom, use information for the highest good. And so I'm just going to tune into Archangel Jophiel for a moment. And I feel like these bars, I clearly see bars, coming up in front of you. And there's this sense of is like a cross, and then it turns into a sword. So we're just focusing so much on the negativity, the challenges, the hurt, the wounds, and instead of really focusing on truth. And so what that means is, to me, is in the moment when you are struggling with something and you're feeling sort of trapped or imprisoned in a situation, that the Archangel Jophiel is asking you to really tune in to your truth, to tune into your heart. Now, you cannot access the clarity, for example, as that sword looked like the Ace of Swords. You can't tune into that clarity if you are not in a state of awareness, or the state of awareness that allows clear access to your truth. So anything that you think is right or wrong, or in that sense, is, if it's based on the foundation of your fears, then that which you will find will be your fears, and not the truth, as in that gives you clarity and it gives you freedom. So you have to base your truth on a foundation of peace, complete detachment, to outcomes and to things and to possessions and people and being right and all this stuff. Because as long as you have an attachment to it all, then you are only going to get the answers of the truth based on how your ego is wanting for things to be, how do I say this, dude? If your ego just so if you're trying to defend yourself, for instance, and your ego wants its point to be served, and that might be, well, it is, no, not might, it's completely not the truth that you need in this moment, or the truth, or coming from the foundation of truth that will be most profoundly clarifying for you in that moment. So as you have access to information, listen to it with the wisdom of your soul and the compassion and understanding that entails. So let's take a look at the cards here and see what further insights. So we have the Hanged Man, and we have a bat here. And it's interesting, her backgrounds, just to pay attention to them as well, because sometimes they're dark, and then here she has this sort of lighter and sort of gradient from going from light to in between, gray to black. And it's clearly like a sort of reversal, right? So the direction that you might be going if you continue in this way. So this is a hang back, wait for divine timing. Wait for you to be in the right space. It says that it gives me a sense that you're not ready to see the truth because you only are focused on what you want to see. And just because we want to see something doesn't mean it's the clarity that we need. All right, so I'm seeing the angel number 893 and then 333 together, but I'll read them separately. And we'll definitely connect the messages however that's meant to come out. So 893 says, you have a close connection with the Ascended Masters who are supporting and guiding you along the path of your divine life purpose. Okay. And then the angel number 333, which says, you are completely surrounded, protected, loved, and guided by the benevolent Ascended Masters. Okay, so first, this gives you a strong sense that you're in a time of mastery, number one, right? And there's something here that whatever you're going through, you clearly have the inner wisdom. You're to discern what are the right choices for you to make. And that the angels, the Ascended Masters that you're working with are giving you, they're really close with you and you're working very closely with them. And that they're also supporting you with insights and they're helping to orchestrate things in a way that you will be able to see this clear enough. So really take this as an opportunity, this card, to say, this is a time of a great illumination, a time of great spiritual mastery, and a clear ascension opportunity here for you. So don't rush. Your fears, your ego is going to be telling you to, jump in and do something to prevent what you're afraid of, or your ego might sort of project that assumptions that aren't really what's going on in the situation. So you want to just stand still as much as possible and really internalize the peace of your inner being's wisdom. And it's hard to sort of center yourself when you're really sort of disturbed and distracted by something. And it takes patience. Even the breath, like you might try to focus on your breathing, and it might be hard to do that, to calm your mind. So maybe give yourself something like you're standing on a beach, and at first you're just listening to the waves going in and out, and sort of just crashing against the beach. Start with just listening and not focusing on the breathing, but letting the breathing align with what you're hearing. And then you feel calmer, then focus on just following the waves, the movement of the waves on the beach with your breath. And then just focus on releasing and relaxing your body down to a deep cellular level. So you might be able to see the cells, just the edges relaxing, letting go of any kind of stress, especially um, sort of this, I don't know how to, like, almost feel like these jerking. You can imagine, how anxiety just kind of has this irregular pattern and it's almost like being struck, you know, without any sort of out of any context of sort of a rhythm, and just letting those outer edges relax so that you can sort of no longer attract that kind of stimulation. We're always in a fight or flight mode. We're always um, being triggered and, or, like reactive. And that's not a way to live. And so, this relaxation of the cells and then the rest of your body, it trains you to not get triggered emotionally when things occur. That's why they had us to practice, like in school, fire drills, so that most of us, when we hear the alarms, I see most people not even just in stores are going off and nobody's bothered by it. When it might be a real situation, we would it would hopefully prepare us to respond appropriately and wisely. And so this is what I feel like the Hangman card is, just waiting and preparing yourself to respond wisely. All right, let's take a look at the next card. So we have another major arcana card, and we have the Hierophant, and here's that lightning striking. So, and I feel like the raven here that's looking at the bat is in holding that key, is sort of, first of all, bringing through this clarity. And I also feel like that there is a major lesson here for us to learn, that the universe is really trying to help us to learn to break beliefs that create patterns in our lives. And so, the important part about this month and the whole message is about being soulful in terms of how, in your interactions, engagement, how you engage the world, to be soulful, that we have an opportunity to release patterns that they're running an automatic pilot and they're creating havoc for no reason other than we're not taking enough steps back. We keep reacting instead of reflecting and then responding. You can never truly find the kind of happiness that your ego is trying to tell you is there. Like, you'll never find real happiness or real peace or harmony or oneness. The way that the ego is presenting it is that you got to keep fixing everybody else. You got to fight with them until you get things to be the way you want it to be, what you consider is fair for you, or what you consider is right. And you're just going to go around, and this is kind of what evangelists, kind of remind me of, when they go around trying to get people, or maybe there's another word for it, to accept the way they believe. And this is kind of like what we all do. This is a very basic thing that the ego does. The minute you feel wronged, you want to explain yourself. And then when you explain yourself, because I've been through this, then you often find that people are able to take even more advantage of your your statements. Like they start picking it apart and you feel really vulnerable. And it makes you feel like, gosh. So the thing is that comes out of a knee-jerk reaction to that. First of all, that you're accepting what people tell you about yourself, even when you know it's false. So, but if you took a step back and, really asked your soul, is this worth my time? You know, is this, what action is going to give me the peace that I deserve? The harmony, the oneness, the security, the safety. And the thing about this relaxation is, in learning and practicing this type of relaxation, is that you stop training your vibration to keep summoning forth the type of events and experiences that trigger you and to make you feel like anxious. So what I'm getting at is that our beliefs and our thoughts is what's creating this. And if our spiritual practice can help us to untrain it by implementing a oneness, peace, harmony practice, unconditional love practice. But this is sort of like, I'm saying it this way, but it is affecting the nervous system, because it shocks when it comes in. I mean, I think that's a part of anxiety. It shocks, So it's interesting that this week I've been feeling like this. I used to get, when I had to perform, and I don't know how many times in early parts of my life, I always felt this, like this thing in my gut, my solar plexus, and it's about not feeling safe, right? And and I used to have a lot of stomach, issues and intestinal issues in the early part of my life, because being gay and so many things, I just felt like I was always under attack by everyone, even if they teased me about it or mentioned it or alluded to it in some way, or if I was sitting and somebody's talking about it, and it just triggered me. And so I learned to, it's a sort of a feeling like you're not good enough, nobody wants you around, or maybe they want to exterminate you. I mean, it's all kinds of things that your ego is telling you. And so it builds into your nervous system and your nervous, the response. It's sort of like, you got your own sort of EMS, emergency system, whatever you call it, emergency alert system. And this is the way that you go through life. And so you have to break that. This work and a lot of things I've done has mitigated that, to the point that I had forgotten about it for so long. But something triggered it and brought it up. I mean, usually for me, it's life stuff, the stuff that most people, well, maybe may not worry about, but like I had to get my taxes done, and the other little things. My bed frame was being replaced because somehow something happened to it, and I thought it was going to be this whole thing where they were telling me I was going to have to move the thing from upstairs and move the other one out of the apartment and bring the other one up, and so. And so, we just have this tendency to like get worried and think and say to yourself and make up stories about how things are going to be, when in actuality what happened was everything turned out perfectly. I don't have to do that. So with the bed, for example, the taxes were done obviously on time, but I needed it for something else. That's why I'm doing it early, and the deadline was kind of coming close. But the point is that I had just learned throughout my life to internalize everything this way, even getting dressed or what to wear, like. And so we don't stop ever and question, why am I doing that, or why is it this way, why does it have to be this way, and then we never think about, well, how do I get it to not be this way? And we usually look for the blame outside of us, when it's just a simple thing of learning to relax. Now, we often say it to each other, relax, relax. But because it's never gone to the extent of a practice, because God forbid, just meditating is kind of woo-woo, right? Or strange, or our ego makes us feel that way. Like if you try to take a moment to just relax and close your eyes in a meeting or in your office, or or sitting in the parking lot of a car, some of us, I probably would, think, oh, somebody's watching me, blah, 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 and then ego goes on. So we have to put those things, those beliefs to rest. And we have another major arcana card. We have the Judgment card. And this is sort of the card of freedom. The atonement is really surrendering all of this stuff that we have made up. And a lot of it that we made up became beliefs, self-talk, and also karma as a result of it. Lessons that we have to learn when we tell ourselves lies, or when we act in a way that is false to the truth. Then we have to work it out. And learning to reprogram, I guess they're offering you a very simple way. It might not be the complete story, but in my journey, I find that they will take you to the next step. But you got to start at home base. And this relaxation and reprogramming, taking the time to reprogram how you respond to information, to stimuli, is very important. It's definitely common sense when we think about it, right? And I'm sure many of us have had access to this tool and other things like it for a very long time, but we want to experience all the other stuff, right? All the other mystical stuff. And that is how our ego can also draw us away from accessing the real depth of truth, that our souls and the universe, the wonders and the marvels of the universe. Because the basics is what we find boring, because we're so overstimulated by a world who's saying that life is fun when it looks like this. If you're jumping off, you're bungee jumping or whatever they call it, out of an airplane, or if you're Instagramming every day that you're in this part of the world, or that you just won this award. Like, it has to be like something, you have to be creating something, or something has to be happening to you, and it has to be like this, like, woo, I'm having a really great day. It can't be, I smell this beautiful rose, the scent, oh, this is the little miracle that happened in my life. Because the scent, it can't be something like that. All of that has to be, scrapped. And if you don't have the big thrills, then you don't share your not small joys, but joy is joy. And so that's something that we can do for ourselves to help us to also be open up to the harmony, the peace, and the balance of the universe. So we had this card before. I don't know how many weeks ago, or if it was last week, the Daughter of Cups that I pulled from the bottom of the deck. And it's an interesting card. It's the only card here that has this, the rainbow color here. And I think about the Daughter of Cups, or the page, in terms of personality, that just seems to come through to me right now as the real message. As one who has a great imagination and is always anchored in the dignity of the soul and the heart, right? So the heart is unlimited. You know, the page of cups has this enormous imagination and creativity as a result of it. Um, you think about someone like this, you know, they're dreamers. And so they can always find that joy or the pleasure in life and the things that are happening. And there's also the caution of needing for this page to also, you know, be grounded, right? And to be able to take care of practical matters. So here is something that you can do practically: learning to relax, learning to create a new sort of response. It's not impractical to take that time to imagine, but know that the programming of the imagination, I think this is one of the qualities here that this card might be helping you to, that the qualities of this particular Daughter of Cups, or the Page of Cups, is that the imagination, to be the practice of visualization, can really create a new reality from within that then becomes the projection of what you start to attract to yourself. So I get this feeling like almost like a film director, or more so than the actress, but like a film director, where you're writing your own script and projecting that script onto a screen, and you're taken into a whole new sort of life experience. And so we can't forget about this element, although it seems lacking in grounding and practicality, but all the elements work together best. All right, so a powerful week. Obviously, we have a lot of, with the major arcana cards here, a lot of huge lessons and energies that we're dealing with. Patience, you know, really bringing through, we're transforming, transmuting beliefs, and healing, you know, deep lessons, but letting go of the judgment around them. Letting go. And doing this by going within, going into the inner world. All these swans are in this card, the Court of Cups. And so I always think of the swans just having that ability to look deep, you know, into the subconscious and transforming and healing. And I think this is what this month is so powerful. The universe has given us this opportunity. The ascended masters that are working with us are supporting a major transformation in our personalities that will feel like a setback, but it's a setup for sort of leaping you forward on your ascension process. All right, so I send you lots of love at 444 and angel blessings, and have a beautiful, beautiful week. God bless.